one thing that I have consistently gone to and gone back to over and over again. So
most people, you know, when they come into the perfect workout, they're coming in to improve something, whether it's weight loss or gaining strength or even working on some sort of medical issue. So what was going on with you before you found us? You decided to do a video.
Well, it's kind of funny. I actually heard about the perfect workout on the radio, on a radio ad. I'm like, oh, it's here in Menlo Park. You know, let me do this. And I think I've constantly been on a journey of kind of battling my weight, battling my exercise routine, battling everything, right? And so I'm like, wow, 20 minutes. Let me check this out and see how it goes. But so I went in, I got the consultation, and what I discovered is I actually really enjoyed kind of that strength training, like trying to build the muscles, and the concept of it being slow, like made me really feel that strength. And I remember after that first session, I was just like shaking, and it kind of made me realize, wow, you are really out of shape. You really need to start doing this. So I think that it was all part about constantly trying to be healthier and lose weight and get back to, you know, whatever I thought I needed to get back to, but that was what brought me in the first place.
Yeah. Had you done strength training before, or was this like a totally new concept for you?
I've done a variety of different things throughout. My problem has always been like sticking with something. And I think back in college, I took my first like weight training class, and I liked it, but I only did it for one semester. And then I've done little trainings here off and on. So it wasn't my very first one, but it was my very first one with it being the slow motion intensity. And so because I'd done the other ones, I was really interested in how that was going to be different and better. And after after those workouts, you could just feel it. You could feel the difference of how to do it. And I try to explain it to people, and, oh no, you got to do that. I'm like, okay, well, you just got to try it to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the struggle of like being a personal trainer with this method. It's like you can explain it so much, but getting on the machines and doing the exercise yourself it's really the only way you're truly gonna understand how effective it is. And I had a similar experience. First time I ever did it, I was shaking hours later. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. So you mentioned you had tried multiple things before, had trouble sticking with maybe some other methods. What other exercise methods or approaches had you done before?
Oh, man, you name it. So I think, you know, if I kind of think about my journey and with exercise, you know, obviously when you're younger and you're more youthful, you're in activities, those things just kind of happen because they're forced. But then once you're an adult and you're out there, you've got to like do your own PE class, right? and so those are the things. So I mean, I remember one time I had multiple memberships to gyms, and I ended up not going to all of them, right? And like, it was just things like that. So I've tried the do-it-yourself workouts. There was a time like I was really into the Tai Bo stuff and the kickboxing and things like that. And then that kind of went and, you know, passed and faded. I've done some of the beach body things as well, and then kind of goes and fades and goes and fades. But I think I started the perfect workout, I believe it was 2014. It may have been 2015, but I think it was 2014.
Wow.
And it is the one thing that I have consistently gone to and gone back to over and over again. So
what do you think is the difference?
I think it's the duration and being able to be compact and do it, that it's hard to come up with like, oh, I can't make it, or I can't do it, or, you know, whatever. I think it's also the connection you end up creating with your trainer as well. And then I think for me, it was really starting to feel strong. Like recently I've lost a lot of weight. And so I wasn't able to see a bunch of the definition, but I could feel it. And I'd be like, you guys don't understand what kind of muscles are underneath all of this, you know? was neat actually feeling that strength and feeling the muscles build and stuff. I think the trainers are amazing there. I mean, I've often had, I've had many different trainers over those, 5 or 6 years. And they do become personally vested in you, and they do get excited for your change and progress. And they're all very extremely knowledgeable. But, I think that during the whole transition to this shelter in place and work from home, I think the professionalism and, the let's figure it out type of mentality that came with your whole organization was amazing. And so kudos to you guys. Great job on that.
Thank you.
And I will give Maggie a big shout out. She is amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
I love her. Yeah. And she's great because I will, I was having an issue with my arm, and then I was seeing some definition here. I'm like, oh, well, I want those cool little caps that you get, and she's like, oh, we'll do these. And she's like, and we have kind of a name now for all the stuff that I'm trying to lose under my arms. And so in my family, we call it Grandma Joni arms. And so, and I was explaining, I know she calls them, okay, we'll do the Grandma Jonies.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah. So it's good because she's she's tuning in to where I want to tone. So it's great.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about your weight loss journey, because you said you recently lost quite a bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, and again, similar with exercise, I'm always trying to lose weight or do this or that. And in the past, I'd gone through and done a couple of the, low carb things, and that was great. And then you kind of get into a little bit of that lifestyle, but then things start sneaking back in and stuff. And well, long story short, before I knew it, where my normal fat weight was now 50 pounds heavier or 40 pounds heavier. So it was like, wow, this is not, I was just trying to get back down to there.
Yeah.
And so if you've ever struggled with weight, it's a lifelong constant battle. And it's not just, oh, well, I don't know, why don't you just eat less, or why don't you exercise more? Well, yeah, if you want to know how to diet, ask a fat girl, because she can tell you the ins and outs of it. It's all about the execution. So for me, I had a friend that went through a program, and it was medically supervised and all of this. And, the concept that he was telling me about made me want to go and learn more about it. And so I started that the end of last year, and they're like, well, let's just wait till you get through the holidays and then we'll go on it. So I was kind of mentally preparing for that. So in January, I started the full program, and it's a very low calorie diet, but it's medically supervised. So you shouldn't do that on your own. And that started in January. And the idea is you don't just do it for the weight loss part, but you have to do it for the rest of the, for the maintenance and the ongoing part, because I think that's where most diets fail, is you lose the weight fast and then you think, oh, now I'm skinny again and I can eat whatever I want, but no, it's not.
It's like a sustainability issue.
It's sustainability. And, it's been the accountability going in. And that's one of the things that I found that I really need, because I'm super lenient on myself. So if I know I have somebody to, talk to, or something to be accountable for, then it's easier for me. It has to be a third party. It can't be my husband, right?
Yeah.
It's that's not going to work.
Yeah. And it sounds like that's kind of been a similar thing for you with your workouts. It's just having that built-in accountability, having the appointment, having somebody on the other side,
Absolutely.
To keep you consistent has been almost like that missing piece of what you needed to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So how much weight would you say that you've lost?
So about 40 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Great.
Yeah, and now you can see all those muscles underneath.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a lot more noticeable. And then I have to say, all of that happening and trying to do that through this whole coronavirus, COVID stuff. But when we started to do the workouts from home,
Yeah.
like even then I just, like, cause I loved doing the machines. I really did. Like, I liked seeing like how much more weight I would do. And
Yeah.
so I was a little concerned. I'm like, how is this going to work when we go from home? Because, that was my big thing. Like, how much can I push on my legs? Am I doing the full stack? Things like that.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, I almost feel like I've even gotten more out of the in-home workouts than I was in the studio. Like, I really, really love them. Like, and it's all, your own body strength and I have a couple of weights that I use here and there, but I don't know. I feel like that combined with, the better eating and all of that has just, the results have been dramatic this year in that aspect.
Yeah. That's awesome. Really cool feedback. And I would say generally the feedback I've gotten about the virtual sessions as well. A lot of skepticism in the beginning because it's different, right? You don't have these big old Nautilus machines in your house. But it's also, I don't know if you would agree, it's kind of empowering to be able to use your body that way and still hit that level of intensity.
Well, because then you really do, you feel your strength. And I also think too, because there's been, because it's not about the weight anymore, like it's not about like how much weight I'm pushing or, lifting. And it almost becomes about the time and the endurance that I have. Like we started doing planks, and Maggie, who's my trainer, she's like, do you remember when you could barely do the plank for 1 minute? And then there was a point where I did like over 3 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And so now she's got me doing more challenging things. So it's like doing it on a disc or a ball and all this stuff. And so you start to appreciate the strength that your body has, and you really start to feel that improving as well. So it is empowering. You're right.
For sure. There's nothing more, I think there's nothing more empowering than feeling strong.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely something that you'll get, whether you're doing this in the studio or you're doing this virtually, like you will actually be stronger, but feeling strong is like a whole nother benefit.
And I think too, like, as I was talking about like the weight loss and stuff, one of the things that I've started to notice is I am no longer doing it. I'm starting to have that mental shift of not doing it for weight loss, but like, I want to see the fat decrease. I want to be healthier. It's like that transformational shift in your head of not doing it for a number on the scale anymore. And it's about doing it because you do feel better and you do like that strength, and you appreciate that even more so. And I think that is what I am hopeful will sustain me for the rest of my life in that aspect.
And that's a really big deal, because focusing so much on weight loss, it's exhausting, right? It's consuming. And I would say most people out there have probably struggled with it a little bit. It's something that you're chasing just constantly. So to be able to not feel like you're in that like chase anymore, and you can really settle into just like working to be your healthiest self. I mean, that's like a breath of fresh air too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you're doing it for you, and you're not competing with that number on the scale, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you obviously, you said, how dramatic results, weight loss, you've gotten stronger, and you can feel the difference between 2015 Tiffany versus 2020 Tiffany in terms of strength in your workouts. Have you noticed any changes in just like everyday life or other activities that you can do, differently now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think my whole body feels different in that sense. Like I do feel lighter, and so I don't feel as tired necessarily as well. And it's, and I'm not apprehensive, or I don't look forward to activities. Trying to say, I don't have any concern about group activities in that sense. Like, oh, we're all going to go on a hike or something. Where before I'd be like, oh, man, this is going to be painful, you know, things like that, where
Yeah.
now I'm like, yeah, I could do that. No worries. Like, you know, there's that aspect to it as well. And then I think because, you know, you start to make those changes in your body, you start to change a little bit of other things too. And so you're a little bit more caring of your own self, and, you know, you don't do as many of the crazy things that you may have done earlier. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
think that there's been a big shift. I also I feel like I drink more water. I feel like, you know, it starts to become a domino effect of the things that you do that are better for your body.
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that it is totally a domino effect, like when it comes to just hydration, and then you start to take care of your nutrition, and then your workouts, and then you start
Yeah.
paying attention to your sleep and your energy levels, and
Yeah.
it's a really cool ripple effect.